I'm Jonas Vingegaard, and welcome to the Cycling Dane.
Jonas Vingegaard is one of the best riders of his generation, and in the 2024 season he was looking to get his third Tour de France title, but as fate had it, it wasn't meant to be. Despite the bad luck, Jonas Vingegaard produced one of the best comebacks in cycling history that we've seen in a very short span of time to manage to finish on the podium in the Tour. But what does the rest of 2024 have in store for the Dane? Before we start the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Let's try and get to 50,000 subscribers. But anyways, Jonas Vingegaard going into the year was the two-time defending Tour de France champion and had a great start to the year with dominant wins in Au Grand Camino, where he took several stage wins and overall once again, and even showcased his increased descending ability as well on one of the stages. He continued his dominance into his first World Tour race, which was Treno Adriatico, where he swept the competition aside once more, winning the Queen stage and won the overall quite convincingly to get his trident. The next race for him was the Tour of the Basque Country, and this was a race he dominated the year before, and he began well on stage 1, the time trial, but was a bit down on his rivals of Remco Evenepoel and Primož Roglič. Then came that fateful crash that changed Vingegaard's year for the worse, and majority of the favourites were taken out of the race as well because of that uneven surface on the descent. Vingegaard's participation in the Tour de France was in doubt after he sustained a punctured lung and a broken collarbone, and even 2 punctured lungs it seemed. But despite this terrifying injury, shortly after, Jonas was out of the hospital, and not long after, Vingegaard resumed outdoor training for the very first time.
This is the first time back on the bike for me, riding outside, and it's really nice to finally be able to ride like normal again, and finally to be able to ride on the road is really amazing, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to taking the next steps as well. I feel good. Yeah, it's improving day by day, and yeah, I still have some things to recover from, but it's going better and better. Of course, I hope to be there at the start of the Tour de France. We don't know exactly how my shape and how my recovery will go, but I will do everything I can to get there in my top shape.
Vingegaard persevered despite these setbacks through vigorous training that even included high altitude in Tignes to get in shape to be there on the start line for the Tour, and he was confirmed by Visma Lease Bike to be part of the start line, and he was determined to try and secure a third successive victory. However, the loss of Sepp Kuss, his most reliable domestique in the mountains because of COVID, added a new layer of difficulty for this quest. At the Tour de France itself, it wasn't long before Vingegaard and Tadej Pogačar locked horns, with many people being uncertain of how Vingegaard's form would be, as he had no race preparation beforehand. It was on the hilly stage up San Luca, but they seemed to somewhat neutralize each other. But the real first battle came on the mountain stage on stage 4 on the Col de Galibier, where Vingegaard was unfortunately distanced a bit by the Slovenian, and even more so on the descent, and seemed to be a sign of what was to come in this Tour. Pogačar was simply on a different level compared to the Dane and the rest of the field. Stage 11 of the Tour de France started in the same vein, with Pogačar attacking away, but Vingegaard managed to reel in the Slovenian, and in the final few throws of the stage, he managed to outkick the Slovenian in the sprint, and the Dane felt a release of emotion and a truly incredible journey from that crash to winning a stage at the Tour. Unfortunately for Vingegaard, he was not able to unseat the Slovenian, who ran riot with the GC field for the remainder of the Tour, even winning 6 stages along the way, and this led to Vingegaard conceding on stage 19. Despite the defeat to Tadej Pogačar in the GC, Vingegaard still managed to finish the Tour de France second, and was certainly an incredible feat when we think back that he had no race preparation and had only just come out of the hospital on the 19th of April. So that leaves us where we are now, of what will Jonas Vingegaard do after this incredible comeback. as he finished that final stage in the Tour de France end of July. And the next proposed race for the Dane is the San Sebastian Classic, the one-day race in Spain, followed by the Tour of Polonia, which holds significance to Jonas Vingegaard, of course, as this was where he first took a win on the professional scene in 2019 in front of Pavel Sivakov and Jide Hindley. But unfortunately, the Dane lost the lead the next day. And here is what Jonas Vingegaard had to say about the experience of him as a leader for the very first time.
In the final stage for you, what kind of happened? Because you were in the leader's jersey, no?
Yeah. I was in the leader's jersey, but I just think, I wasn't really ready to have a leader's jersey. Actually, I wasn't ready for all the pressure and all the pressure I put on my own shoulders, but also from the team and all the media and everything. It's just something you have to get used to in some kind of way, and it was I just basically think I wasn't really ready for having a leader's jersey, and I think and that's something I have to practice, and I think already later that season it already went better with a lot of pressure on my shoulders. So it's that's also I can feel this year I'm getting I haven't raced this year, but I can feel that I feel more ready for having a leader's jersey now, because I would never have been thinking that I would get a leader's jersey last year. Every time I was racing, I was mostly racing as a helper, and then all of a sudden I was in the leader's jersey, and that just I really didn't expect that.
All this aside, this schedule is not exactly what the cycling world would have wanted to see from Jonas Vingegaard. He is one of the best GC riders of his generation, and we would have wanted him to potentially go to the Vuelta a España to finish the job that he didn't do in 2023, where Jumbo-Visma gave their support to Sepp Kuss. So with this form, it certainly looked like Vingegaard had it in his legs to win the Vuelta a España outright, a race that he's never won. And in the absence of some of his key rivals such as Remco Evenepoel and Tadej Pogačar at the start line, he certainly would be the big favourite and would give him a bit more confidence as well, given the tumultuous year he's had. One problem with that though, if we follow the schedule that he has now provisionally, is that there will be no Vuelta a España because the Tour de Polonia doesn't finish before the Vuelta a España starts. So that is a big problem as well. So the Tour of Polonia will kill the dream of seeing Vingegaard at the Vuelta a España this year. And on top of that, the San Sebastian Classic is not exactly the one-day race that fans were screaming for to see Vingegaard attend. That would have been the World Championships, which is in Switzerland later this year. And the parcours certainly does suit a rider like Jonas Vingegaard, although he doesn't have the best one-day record. But this certainly is a course that would most favour him to potentially win that jersey. And imagine seeing a battle of Pogačar and Vingegaard in Switzerland for the rainbow jersey. That would be incredible. But Vingegaard will not make his return to the Worlds. And the last time he was at the Worlds in 2018 in the under-23 road race. The comparison will always be there in his career from now on with his career rival Tadej Pogačar and the Slovenian who recently completed the Giro Tour double victory for the first time since 1998 when Marco Pantani did it, chose to bypass the Olympics but still has a laser focus on the back third of the year, dispelling rumours that he would actually go to the Vuelta a España, but rather the Slovenian is looking like he will go to the 2 one-day races in Canada on the other side of the world and then fly back to compete at the World Championships as mentioned earlier in Switzerland, and then presumably Pogačar would finish the year with some one-day races in Italy, including that final monument Il Lombardia that he's already won for the last 3 years in a row. So it is a shame that with Pogačar being so lively, even with 2 Grand Tours and many more race days in the legs, we won't see his Danish rival against him in any of these races as it stands, but hopefully these things will change. But that aside, Vingegaard has had an absolutely incredible roller coaster of a year, and wouldn't it be fitting for him to win a Vuelta a España or even win a World Championships given where he's come from in the spring? But now it all just seems to be a cycling fan fantasy at the moment. But anyways, that's basically it for this video. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel here on The Cycling Dane, and if you haven't already, let me know what you think of Jonas Vingegaard's proposed 2024 schedule, and would you have wanted to see him at the Vuelta? But anyways, with that, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.